Check, check. Welcome in, team. Thanks for being here. Sent the link out a couple minutes late, so we'll definitely go a little bit long. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties, but put your requests in the chat if you want me to look at something you're in, something you're wanting to be in. Could be shares or swings. Let me know if you want to in on a day trade, or if you're looking for shares. Kind of just changes how I kind of give you advice on setup. So yeah, AXON, we'll get it wrote down for you. Again, just let me know in the chat, or when I get to it, open your mic, just let me know if you're already in it or wanting to be in. Yep, we'll definitely look at SPY for sure. It's always top of the lecture, kind of give us our bearings and our heading, where we might head this week, what we can look out for. All good, Michael. Yep, looking to be in. Cool. Yeah, Aurora, CIA3, is that the, can't remember that ticker name. Is it just AI? I can't remember. Yeah, AI. Cool. I'll get that one wrote down. On the daily, looking for contracts. Cool. Weekend was good. Yesterday, put my asked you guys in the chat about a standing desk. I picked one up. So first lecture tonight with the standing desk. We'll see how that goes, and got everything converted. That's cool. Went to the beach a little bit today. Watched some football. Had some tri-tip. So I got a little bit of a food coma. Glad I'm standing up, that's for sure. All right, one more server ping, guys. We'll get started. 1 second. All right, welcome in, guys. My name is StartedWith. I see a lot of regular faces in the chat, few new people, pretty small class so far. That seems to be the regular. But with that, we'll dive right in, you guys. Again, if you have something you want me to check up on the chart, whether it could be shares or leaps, swing trade, day trade, whatever it is, let me know in the chat. Put it in the chat. Just say, hey, I'm looking at Amazon. I'm not in yet. I'm looking for some contracts. Oh, good timing. Amazon, perfect. Yeah, but just put in the chat and I'll go to it, everyone in order. Please just do one at a time if you can. If it's a small class, we'll circle back around. But again, feel free to unmute your mic if you guys have any questions. This is just a charting class tonight, but we'll keep it simple and we'll keep it for you guys. So with that, guys, we'll start with SPY. On the 1 hour chart, like I said, I just like to do kind of that middle of the time frame, hourly levels, 30-minute levels, so we can kind of find out where we're going. As of last week, we kind of bounced right around this daily 9 moving average here, this purple dash stair step line. That's our daily 9 moving average, and our green is the 20-day moving average. So we kind of dance around that, a little bit of consolidation over a previous all-time high range, and lo and behold, what we do, we broke out, made some new all-time highs. Let's see, what was that, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, new all-time highs each day. And now just a little bit of a retrace, nothing to worry about. I wasn't around Friday. I don't know if this was some sort of a news candle or just some profit taking, but that's a pretty big down hourly candle. But usually it can go both ways. So for me, let me get my drawings going here. As of now, we're kind of around this 670.5 area, this zone here. We'll see where we open up tomorrow. But as you can see, I got what I like to call the most important lines, area of focus. That push up here Thursday, rejection down in that pre-market into open, and then just that price action, how it makes sense, all that price action there. You could see we push over that. We get a little bit bullish and we push, whether it could last an hour, could last a couple hours, but we do see that push over, and you can see, I'll zoom in a second, when we slice through that, how you can see how selling pressure kicks in. And so that's the first level I'm watching, this kind of the 670.75. If, like I always say, if you want to take a screenshot or write it down, underneath that 669.4, 668.5-ish or 0.48. Again, I'm looking for where these candle closes are and where we're seeing the biggest reactions around those previous levels. Every time we come back to it, we see the big bounce reaction. Again, I'm gonna zoom in here in a second. We slice under support. You can see what happens, how you can say buyers kind of gave up or sellers really kicked in. So nice big zoomed in look here. You can see, again, that 670.76. When we slice that, what happens on the next candle? They close it here, they open it here, they try and buy it back up, and selling pressure kicks in. And for the rest of the day, we did not reclaim that level, and selling pressure kicked in for a lower close on the day. And so that's the focus I'm watching on. If you guys have any questions, feel free to mute your mic. But short and sweet for me on SPY, I want to see that reaction tomorrow. Do we open over 670.75 or open below it? And you can see, obviously, my thesis and my sentiment on plays that'll come. We open over. I'm looking for a little bit of a bullish push. Do we get to all-time highs? I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that's just what I'm watching. And then underneath that, a little bit bearish on the day if we break underneath that. Okay. I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'll go on to QQQ real quick. And then Norvin and who else DM'd me? I wrote it down. I read it down. Perito, you're not in here as of now, unless you got a different username. But Norvin DM'd me the first request. So QQQ, oh, Luis, gotcha. Perfect, man. So QQQ, same thesis, you guys. You can see here, again, this is just how I trade. Focus here on the 605 or 604.54, okay? Every time we're over it, we get a nice continuation up. When we're under it, we see a little bit of selling pressure to the bottom side. Don't believe me? Push up. What do? We bounce, we test support, and what do? We get a nice big reaction, similar to Friday when we get bounced and we bounce over that, a reaction over and a bullish push for the day. Doesn't mean it's going to be a multi-day push or multi-hour. It just means when we hold this level, I personally am not looking to be bearish on the day. Again, same thing with SPY. We break that level, look what happens. Selling pressure kicks in. So as of now, if we believe this candle here, we're opening over that just a little bit. So any opens over this in a bounce, I'm looking for bullish plays. I'm looking to stay bullish on tech, the tech names, your Apples, QQQs, or excuse me, NVIDIA, Tesla, stuff like that. If that holds, I'm looking for a reaction like that during the day tomorrow. Any opens under or breaks under, I'm expecting and playing the mindset of a sell down like that. Okay. Pretty short and sweet. Like I said, I don't like chasing stuff all-time highs. I like retracements like this because it makes it easy. It makes it easy because we say, okay, what happens last time we're at 604.54? We got a reaction like that or a reaction underneath. And so that's why I love to play retracements. Exactly what we're doing. Norvin, QUBT. Let's look at it, man. I'm skipping that other one I messaged you already just because it's all-time highs. I don't like trading that. This one, man, let's take a look at this. Let's chart it out real quick. Let's go to the 4 hour to kind of see what we're working with here. Again, how I would play it. A few people can tell you a few different things, but this is what I would be looking for if it were me. So first and foremost, this large wick right there, that big wick reaction, fully engulf that on Friday. Gotta love that if you want to be bullish on the play. And this wick here didn't quite get there, but I want to focus on why that bounced there, kind of in that zone that we're focusing on here. And then, of course, this pre-market zone here and Friday's high. I need to zoom out and see this all-time highs. I'm not for sure. It is not. Okay. So obviously some things to be mindful of here, Norvin. All-time highs 27.15, it looks like. But we're pushing up to here. Let me zoom out a little bit and kind of see what was our reaction there a few weeks back and see, does that price reaction make sense? Kind of see where we're rejecting and why. Yep, that's exactly what I want to see here. So I want to see, yeah, so right now we're about 25.36. So we're going to focus on this red zone here. That's the spot to watch. Can it go more? Absolutely. But you guys know how I like to trade. I'm a very low risk trader. I try to make it super, super easy what I'm looking at here. And as I extend this and now zoom back into present day, again, that's all-time highs there. That's our focus here, Norvin. Similar topic with Tesla last week. I said, hey guys, don't try long at 445. Wait for a breakout retest at 445 and then go from there. So this is what I'll be watching for, Norvin, excuse me. For me, 25.83. Again, how I like to trade, I want a breakout retest, because when that retest holds, we're proving, hey, Friday's high and last week's high is holding. So, you know, like I tell you guys how I like to trade, previous day high, low, pre-market high, low, that's my bread and butter. So get long, stay long over this. Any break under this 25.26, I'm bearish for a day trade, because again, you can see we break under that. What happens when we break underneath that? And so a little retracement, it's not going to be a bad thing. If we do, I would love a back test in this 24 flat to this 23.44. Definitely would love retracement back into here for even better, lower risk, higher reward for me to get long on this position. But definitely tradable chart, you guys, and Norvin as well. So they hold this level there. We look back, they're bouncing that high of day wick there. So that proves buyers are still stepping in. Again, you got to find your spots that make sense where you want to get long and short at. It can't just be random numbers, random spots in the chart. So make sure it makes sense. Always have a plan, you guys. Nice first request, though. REGN. Let's take a look at it. Ooh, I know something I want to talk about. Yellow line, haven't talked about tonight. Daily 200 moving average. Daily 200 moving average. Let's zoom out on the daily. Let's see where the heck we're at. Where it's rejecting, why it's rejecting, how we can trade this. Luis, are you already in this? Or let's see, let me check the chat. Looking to be in. Let me know if, shares, options. Feel free to unmute your mic if you want, or you can just type in the chat. That's fine too. But definitely some stuff to be mindful of. Don't want to be late chasing up here for sure. Not in, maybe shares. All right, I can dig that. Let's find you an opportunity here. Give me 1 second. Just scanning top side, bottom side wicks, the biggest reaction. That's how I like to trade. Get you a nice variety here. First things first, last week, where to reject, why to reject. The most important thing you need to know on this chart is the daily 200. Daily 200 is a moving average. It's exactly what it is. It's an average that moves. When it's overhead, it is a resistance line. When it's underneath, it is a support line. And overhead, if you get in somewhere down here, that is your focus to the upside. Where is that daily 200 sitting around at? That is the spot to watch. that's what you need to watch there, because that's rejected. I didn't get there on Thursday, but Monday and Friday rejected, combined with this area here. So again, back testing, breakouts or breakdowns, like I said, is my bread and butter. So that's what I'm watching here. For shares, yep, we can definitely flip this. Definitely flippable. So again, overhead resistance, this, we'll call it 610 to 615. Don't want to start a long position there, because if you do, you got to sit. So let's say you take something like 610. So you're going to have to sit through, not smart math, at least a 4% downside on shares or options. So you got to be mindful of that. So for me, what I'm saying is, if you take an option or a share position here, somewhere up here, you got to be able to sit through a retracement of support zones and see if they hold. At least that's how I trade. So I would much rather you guys, or you, take an entry somewhere around this 596.45, this 588, or this 582, because what do we have below us? If this little range down here holds, we have two moving averages. They're going to be stacked below you. They're going to act as a big support. So that's what we want. So this kind of range is a no zone to get long. This range down here is the good zone to get long. So day trades for puts are okay up here, but again, a back test this level, and then you just, when people are chasing up here on some calls, you're riding, you're up, you know, you're $10 potentially in the money if you get by an money call. That's what you want, and you trim all the way up into here. Why people are going, okay, now I'm gonna test the breakout, I'm gonna buy into here my first position, and they're literally buying your sells. But decent chart for sure. But again, be mindful at daily 200. Tricky spot. All right, Michael, I see your requests and your requests again. So AXON is next. Let's do it. I'm looking to be in. Perfect. And then Roral, if you're still here, you are. We'll do AI. All right. AXON. Axon Enterprise. Nice consolidation here. Gotta love that. Let's zoom out, see where we're at. Yeah, Luis, yeah, send me a DM for sure. We talked quite a bit. So send me a DM on your trade plan or what you're looking for. We can definitely go over it. I don't mean to shrug anybody off. I just want to make sure we always get to everyone's request. All right, here, let's check this bottom range. Love that. Look at that in the daily. I'm on the daily, you guys. Like, was that 6 or 8 bounces just the last couple weeks here? It lines up with bounces here in July. And then it's the top range here from February and May as well. So who was this again? Michael, I believe. Yeah, definitely the spot. If you're looking for shares or options on long dated, this is the spot. This 695 to 700 zone. We talk about it, you guys, those round psychological numbers, 100, 200, 300, 50, whatever it is, 20, those round numbers, the computers that we're hopefully trading with, not against. That's what you want to be looking for. Why they're bouncing certain zones there. That is what you want to watch here. And top side trend line. Also, bottom side, let's see if it lines up. Kind of, sort of. We can argue we got a little bit of a pennant action going on here. That's what I'll be watching here. So for me, Michael, definitely a zone down here to buy the dip. So tricky. I'm not saying you are impatient, but if you get impatient, there's stuff to watch for here. So if you're kind of buying into this, the 715 to 720 zone, again, for shares, how I trade, you can start a position up here, but we know there's a big bounce zone down into here that even just multiple days, we're seeing big buybacks every time it comes into this zone here, into this 700 zone. It's a no-brainer, round psychological number. So if you start a position here on shares, you got to be able to hold through that. Even though it's red and you buy here, you're red instantly, that's fine. You got to be able to hold through support bounce. You can't freak out about that. Day trades on puts, day trade zone, be mindful, but just know that this top zone is rejecting. That's where it's safe to take puts, but we do get bouncy kind of in here, so be mindful of that. But your best bet is to just set alert downside here and to get some long dated swings, or for a day trade or for shares. This is the no-brainer spot when I look at a chart, when I try and find, okay, where do I want to take my shot? This is it right here, because again, kind of my drawing's messy here, but again, on the daily, that's where you do it. You buy support on support bounces, you short up here where it continues to reject day after day, week after week. Nice spot down here, and then not far below. Let's see how far percent wise. You're only 6% below your daily 200. So if they do break this support here, your daily 200, so you see how these moving averages overhead are smacking it down on the top side. This daily 200 is just going to take its sweet time here and just trickle, trickle, trickle. It's going to be somewhere around here. You're probably going to touch this. And if that bounces and we break this trend line, it's on. That's a very, very bullish signal. Sorry, what is that support number? Yeah, let me zoom in here for you, but or I'll let you take a screenshot. But 1 second here, zoom in so you can figure this out. But yeah, go ahead and take a screenshot if you want, or just ask me in DMs. But the 795 is kind of quick charting. 796 to the 700 definitely cannot be bearish as long as that's holding. Yep. Don't chase, man. Markets are not going anywhere. Be patient, guys. I'll try and get to those other requests if we got time. We'll see what's rolling in the chat here. Roro, good to have you in here. You're still here. Love it. Let me read your chat comment. On the daily, you're in it for 1121. Perfect. All right. We're on the chart, brother. Feel free to unmute your mic or just tell me in the chat, like what number. Damn it, my computer monitor just went out. My second one. What the hell? 1 second, guys. I got no mouse.
Yo, 1K, can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah, man, what's up?
Hey, what's all that talk about? People like talking bad about Rigetti, bro. They're just mad they missed a big pump.
I don't even know, man. I've been out on this. Damn it, my second monitor just like flicked out. It's crazy. Give me a second. I gotta pull my keyboard. I got no mouse. Sorry, guys. Crazy. Please work. All right. Now I don't have our Zoom chat. Sorry about that. I guess I'll just have to do it on one screen. Could someone tell me the chat or unmute? Do you guys only see my Thinkorswim chart, or do you see the chat, the Zoom chat as well? That's really weird. Damn it. All right. I don't know, brother. Okay, Thinkorswim. Yeah, monitor's tired of staying with me too. I don't know, Norbin. I've been out of that whole loop on that thing, man. I missed the boat. I know MMA's got in on some of it, but I don't have a good answer for you. I'm sorry, man. All right, Roro, I believe it was CIA3. You said, let's see. All right. If you're still here, yeah, where at on this chart did you get in? Because you're in November 21st.
I got in. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, if you're able to tell me that way, because that way it's easier for me to say, hey, if you got in here, you're chilling. If you got in down here around 17 or something, you're chilling. Move your stops here. But if you kind of maybe chased on Friday, I can kind of give you a better game plan. If you roughly remember where or what day, that's fine too. But if not, we can just roll with it. But it's always easier. Get some lines going while you're looking. And where are we pushing here? Where do we
I got in around 1760, I think.
1760. Oh, you're chilling. Perfect. All right. So somewhere maybe Thursday, or you've been in for a little bit and just seen a little bit of red?
Friday.
Friday?
Yeah, Friday.
Okay. So maybe around the 18 zone. Okay, that's cool. All right. So what I would do here, man, you're in 1121. So I want to see, or I just want you to see this. I'm going to make this thick here since, like I always say, if you guys are on smaller screens, it's probably hard to see. So you see that thick line I just drew for you? At least how I trade, you guys. I don't like people chasing. I don't like people being greedy. So I don't know what percent you're up, brother, but
I'm up 20.
Okay. So I see this and we look left and we see this here. So on the way up, I hope you get the breakout because you're already in. But
yeah,
if you start seeing it kind of falter here at 1925, 1927, you're like, why the hell is it doing it? It's because we got this big cluster here from March that you need to be really, really mindful of. So, 20%ers, I like them. I'm not saying it's good enough for not good enough for you, but just be mindful of that. And if I zoom left, Yep, we can see this 1925 again. And how far I got to zoom left again, and again, see this 1925
Okay.
here. So your best case scenario, let me zoom in here. You want to see this price action. This was from 2 years ago. So this is a pretty good example, actually. So your Friday candle in real time last week essentially closed like that. So best case scenario, you want to see this happen this week. I'm not saying this candle is going to happen, but what I'm saying, a breakout retest, and every time we retest this level here, it holds, it holds, it holds. That gives you confidence to keep holding your November contracts to catch the hopeful potential breakout for it to go more. But we really want to see that price action this week. I'm glad I scrolled to the left because that makes it super easy. Hang with me here, guys. Zoom back to real time. So again, that's what you want to see, brother. Again, we stopped right there. I think it is no coincidence why we stopped there, but we want to see a breakout retest for you to continue to hold. But again, if we start kind of consolidating here and you turn back a little bit red, that's the reason. So not saying you should let green go red, because definitely we know how hard it is to make money in this market. But this is kind of what I would look for here. Man, I really wish I had my second screen. This sucks. Let's see here. I gotta move this stupid Zoom chat. So yeah, so a breakout of hold, that's kind of what you want to see. And as of now, we're holding over this if we believe this after hours data. So again, get a drawing real quick, shrink this. So again, you have November contracts, you've got a little bit of safety. Again, I don't want you to let green go red, but if you do, that's your choice. Here's how I'd play it. I would definitely watch these levels here, this 18.6 and this 18.12, and then right below it, you got 2 moving average. So I don't know how much red that's going to send you down here, but if you're only in on a partial position, these are the spots here to watch. We talked quite a bit on Trade Floor, I think. So just let me know how you managing this if you need some help. But super nice trade. And man, if this breaks this, you guys, anybody not in this trade, break and hold a 1927 this week. That's a good spot to get long, stay long on this name. Again, the ticker is AI, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't let it go right. I'd rather I've got enough buying power. I can just buy back in.
Yep, definitely, man. But man, if that breaks out, man, it's gonna be a big breakout, and you're gonna see some very, very fast movement of late people chasing. So nice setup, man. Nice entry for sure, man. Nice request.
Thanks.
All right, let's see here. Got to zoom on the chat again. All right. Got that one. iPhone, hopefully you're still here. I lost my member list. You're not in here. Let me see how many requests we got. Might skip Amazon for now. Kevin, yep, I like to look at the 1 hour. It's kind of like my bread and butter. It kind of gives me larger time frame analysis. I can kind of see what's going on under the hood. I can see pre-market data. It just works for me. 30-minute 1 hour is what I stuck with. Errol's gone. All right. Z, let's look at snow. You stuck around. I know you guys got to dip out. Sometimes it happens, but I definitely don't want to spend a bunch of time on something that no one's in here to talk about. So if I skipped you, it wasn't intentional. We'll definitely come back. All right. Can you look at, oh wait, no, that's the username. I'm an idiot, sorry. Snow. Thing goes at 245 this week. Let's take a look here. Let me check comments. Down 40, entered Friday. Cool. All right, let's zoom out here. Give me like 2 seconds. I think it's just the power cord on my monitor, but that's crazy. Whatever. All right, on the daily here. Obviously, it's in hindsight. I can say you bought the top zone. I'm not going to rag on you for that. It's not what I'm here for, but let's get you a plan, brother. All right, get some. Yeah, did that get news? I mean, that was just a bad day for it. Like I said, can't predict that, but Want to grab kind of this zone here, that 240, that wick there. Bounce makes sense to me. I'm seeing this wick here lines up with this wick and that candle body. Let's take a look to the left, kind of see price action unless it's all-time highs. Nope, definitely bouncing 233. Gotta love that. 241 does not like that. Yep, this 241. Every time we get to that level here, going back 3 years ago, March 2022, try to get breakouts there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, failed. So again, it's in hindsight. Let's figure out a plan for you because you said you're still in. So intraday time frame look, here we go, man. All right. So you're still in, you're down 40%. What was your expiration? Friday this week, 250 call. All right. Okay, you swung over the weekend. Don't love that. But here's the plan for me. That's this, you got 2 zones to watch here, brother. This 236.57. So if we hold that, I'm hesitant on telling people to average down, but again, I always tell people if you do take an average, it has to make sense. This is the spot to do it. So if we break and hold this early in the day, that's the spot you could try and get out. But again, you're down 40% already. If you take an average here, you have to be honest with yourself and me. When we break this, your initial entry is red, your average is red, the trade is invalid. You took a loss, you need to take a loss in the trade and just move on. You cannot hold to see this, take an average, and then it breaks that, and then all of a sudden you're down 80% on 2 or 3 averages down. So plain and simple, man, if you do take an average, this for me is a spot to do it. Why is this the spot? You can see price action here, hard to draw with the mouse, sorry, price action. When we hold this, what do? We get continuation up. We hold this, what do? Continuation up. We fail this, what happens? We try and break out, or excuse me, retest a breakdown, and what happens? Selling pressure kicks in, we close lower. So this level must hold here. Again, I'm only telling this person to take an average down because they're already in it. So normally I don't want people to, swing 40% on a weekly, but that's the spot. But again, if you're already in a full position, I just seen your message in the chat, just cut it and move on. But again, if this holds here, you do have some hope. But if that breaks down, just, cut it, move on. And, train psychology, you guys, it's the thing that kills you guys the most, your mentality, is your swings that are just red day after day, day after day, day after day. The breakdown happened, the trade, whether it's calls or puts, is not valid, and you just keep holding, you keep holding, you keep holding, and it just eats you up every single day. When you could just cut the trade, move on. Yeah, you took a $300 loss, $400 loss, $50 loss, whatever it is. You can make that shit back and you can move on from it. But instead, you guys are holding and holding. Not saying this person's going to do that, but just admit when you're wrong. They took it somewhere here or here, and they're down 40%. That's fine. If this breaks, they're wrong in the trade. Move on. It's not like tomorrow's the last day ever. The markets are going to be open. Just move on and try and find a new trade and just, try and make up for it.
Hey, 1K.
What's up, man?
Hey, since we're on snow, it's kind of like I really appreciate what you just shared about, no matter what the loss, there's tomorrow, but it really got me because I got in. I saw the alert, one of the admin alert, but also I saw that, I did my own DD and I was like, this is great. But when it dipped a few days ago, that screwed me over because I was just and then it was one of those things where I wanted to stay in, right? Because I knew there was still pop, there was a squeeze, all that stuff. But then one of the alerts, they said they stopped out, and I was like, oh, and so that kind of messed with me a little bit. So I did stop out of it. Mm-hmm. So just wanted to see your approach, want to pick your brain, what would you have done? Because that was kind of a deep pull, but also it looked like it was a support zone. And so How do you stay in a trade? How do I I guess, I did my own DD, but also I kind of followed it. And so it was more of a secondary. So it was a few days ago, if you can go back. And then
was that a Wax or Waxy? I'm not sure.
Yeah, and he doesn't miss, or he or she, I don't know what it is, but they don't miss. But again, like I said, I try to learn from my like trades. Whenever you guys post a alert, I try to learn. I try to do my own DD, and but one of the days it just dipped hard. And then like literally next day it just popped crazy. So it was like a couple days, a little more further back, probably.
Probably.
Oh, that right there. Oh, that stopped me out. And so I got in when the alert was set. Again, did my own DD, try to do it, and then I looked at big picture, but that dip right there just destroyed.
Yep.
And that was the buy.
It's tough. It's hard, man. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna say this in hindsight, or show you guys this in hindsight, obviously, but it.
Hey, 1K.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Give me 1 second, Norman. I don't want to say, you know, I wouldn't have cut because, like I said, I can look at it now and go, oh, it bounced here on support. Duh, I wasn't in the trade, but it's tough. It's a mind game. So maybe he bought here at the top. I don't know what it was. I don't remember his alert. We'd have to look at it, but
it was the day before.
Yeah,
it was actually the top.
trying to catch that breakout. Yeah. So
and then it dropped, which I held, and then I saw that, you know, he had his stop loss, he had all that stuff. But for me personally, I zoomed out, like you said, to the 1 hour, and I was like, oh, this is not bad. But when as soon as I saw his alert saying like he stopped out, I like panicked and I stopped out, only to see that it reversed, and the next day you could see that pop. I was so like, I lost way more than I could have, and it's just kind of like mentally, how do you recover from that?
I mean, if it's eating you up inside, you probably, I mean, you kind of admitted you took a bigger loss than you want. You got to size down, and now, so, you know, right now you're pretty much saying, you know, you struck out the bottom of the ninth, you know, in the World Series. That's fine. So, you know, what you got to do is come back the next game and just, like, it's a stupid analogy, but you got to just try and do base hits. So if you lost $500, the next trade, you can't be like, okay, you know, Waxy doesn't miss. You know, he alerts SPX, I'm going in heavy, because what if that's a loss too? So you got to size down and just chip away. So when I take a loss, instead of, I usually do 10% position size. That's what I'm comfortable with. When I take a loss, I go down to 5% position size, and I make a mental note. You know, I lost 300 to 400, whatever it is on the last trade. And I literally have a note in front of me. Okay, I lost on Walmart. So the next day I took PayPal. Okay, I made 150. Cool. I write it down, I chip away at it. And so I know from my last trade, am I back to, you know, basically all-time high green from that last trade before I took a dip in the portfolio. And so I just chip away at it, man, because the worst thing you can do is take a big loss, go in heavy, and then you take another big loss, and then your mindset is totally screwed. And then what happens? The next 2 or 3 alerts are just huge wins. You know, Grizzly alerts something on Hood or crypto, and you're like, dude, why did I sit down on that? Because now you have you're mentally numb from the losses, and you cannot do that. You just have to you have to treat every day as a new day. The mindset has to be the same thing every single day. And the best you can, you just have to forget about the losses. If you have a winning system, you know, since I've had my tab, my win rate is 82 to 84%. So if I take a loss, yeah, it sucks, and people probably took the loss with me, but I have to trust the process. I have to zoom out and look at my P&L journal from the last, you know, 16, 18 months and go, okay, losses happen. You know, it's roughly 8 out of 10 wins, 7 out of 10, whatever it is. And you just have to keep the mindset. Tomorrow's a new day. Find the same setup and just do it all over again, because this looked good. You know, obviously it's a top range failed breakout. And then when it broke out, people are probably numb. They don't want to take the trade, but you just have to be able to get back in. It's tough, but that's the thing with trading, man, is when you take the deep losses, that's what wrecks people. They cannot come back from it quickly. You got to try your best to just every single day. You can't skip steps. You can't cheat, because the market will humble you super, super quickly. And it happens. You know, I've been here 5 years. I've never seen so many people get washed up and DM me, I'm done, man. I can't do this in 2025. Like, it is just chewed up and spit people out so bad this year. And just, you know, with the tweets and the tariffs and all the other thing and the data, it's like, this is by far my hardest year to trade for sure. And it's just, you gotta hang in there, man, day after day. I don't know what else to tell you, but you just got to treat every day as a new day and just shake off the losses, man.
Man, I appreciate it. And I mean, like I said, it's just, I did see, because like I said, I did my own DD, and I saw his vision, and I was like, dude, like, this is like, so I entered, you know, with his, like, I kind of followed it, but also I knew what I was getting into. And it's just like, it kind of sucks to think, like, you know, like after it broke out, like, to see, it's just hard to re-enter a ticker that like you like lost heavily, and it's just like, even though I saw the vision, I saw like that it was gonna pop, it was squeezing, and it's just like, I don't know, but no, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's good, man. I mean, it's not crazy. I get not numb, but like River can scalp, and he's like, all right, I'm out at 18% loss, whatever. And then like 6 minutes later, he's like, hey, I'm gonna take this. Like he's just numb to it, and that's how you should be. But me, I can't alert a loss or take a loss, and then 6 minutes later, like scan the charts on something different, and be like, oh, I'm gonna get into this. Like I'll take a couple hours break, or if it's the end of the day, I just shut it down. Like I can't. River's crazy amazing about jumping back in and just shaking it off, because obviously his position sizes, are locked in. Mine are too, but like I still don't have that mindset. I can't just jump into something after taking a loss. I need to let it sit, just a little bit, All right. I skipped Errol. I see Errol back in here. Give me 1 second. Now that we're kind of out of order, I want to make sure I don't miss their trade. What was it? Core Wave, I believe, for options. Errol, you in this one? Looking to be in? Let me know. Feel free to unmute or put it in the chat. CRWV, I believe it is. Core Wave. Yep. All right. Don't see anything in the chat yet. Cool. I think we went over snow. Hopefully I didn't skip after all that. Sorry about that. All right, what do we got here on this one? Damn, I need my other screen. I'm just like moving the chat back and forth. Glad I'm not on a laptop. All right. All right, Errol, I see you in here. Feel free to type. Maybe you are typing. I can't get my text going here. Oh boy, think or swim. Come on now. Drawing mode. Bounced it there. Now I can't get into drawing mode. All right. Cool. Yep, Viral Tristan, I see your questions. I'll get to you. I think you guys are pretty much up next. Crash, if you're still in here, we'll take a look as well. See you, brother. Viral, oh, Boeing, man. Yeah, we talked a couple weeks back. Hopefully that paid for you. All right. Core Wave. Don't know if you're in it or want to be in, but here's how I would trade this. Definitely a back test here, a back test of recent support. So obviously, again, it's in hindsight. It's easy for me to say, oh, you should have took calls here, puts here. But this is what I'm seeing for sure. Clear as day to me on Core Wave. Top range, top side rejection. This is a no zone to get long, trying to time the breakout. You failed once, not you, but a person would have failed once, twice, 3 times, and probably 4 and 5. Who knows how many times? You want to get long when you start seeing bounces. I know we got some closes over, but when we see that reaction down here around this 130.75, and boom, again, it's in hindsight, but when I see a support bounce lined up almost perfectly with the daily 9 moving average, that's when you want to take your shot. As of now, if you're not in, this is kind of the middle zone for me, top zone, bottom zone. You can play that breakout of kind of 136 or break and hold, but again, me personally, I don't love setups like this because we have this bottom side, you're pushing up against, and then these zones here. So at any point moving up to this 138, you could get one of these kill candle downs that just stop you. I'm not saying this big one happens, but if you're taking your calls here, that's fine. But on a push up, you need to be trimming heavy, and then make this a target 3 if you want to be bullish. If you want to be bearish on it, personally, I would wait for kind of a break under probably this 135 here, because we're breaking that Thursday low there, and we're breaking that section there, which is, what do we know about the highest volume of the day? The open and the close, and you're breaking Friday's close zone there. So any break under that, I would get bearish for a day trade on that one. Hopefully that helps you out on this. All right. I want to be in perfect. Yeah, hopefully that helps you, Errol. If not, send me a DM. I think we talk from time to time, but let me know for sure. All right. What do we have next here? Let's see. Luis, I don't really use fibs, only at all-time highs. Sorry, I'm just getting caught up with the chat here. Profit saw last week. Crash. Let's hit it, man. If you have time, look at Celsius. Levels have gotten muddy. Yep, cool. Let's take a look. CELH. Ooh, was a green zone, was support. We're underneath it. We're going to color that red. We're going to zoom out and see what the heck is going on up here. What are we doing up here? So maybe not the perfect technical term, but I like to do kind of like supply and demand. Demand is support, supplies overhead. Let's see what we're doing here. So we broke out here. Let's go to daily just to show you guys. Yep. So bounce, breakout, consolidation, breakdown, fighting for its life, got back up, reclaim support, and we zoom into pretty much present day here. Again, I'm on the daily still. Here's why I see crash. Fought down under it, clear as day, get my drawings going. Support, you break down, you retest it, you try and reclaim it. Sellers said, nope, we're taking her down. Buyers buying it back up. A gap up candle closed below, failed it, an engulfing candle on Thursday, and now kind of an ugly ass candle here on Friday. But if you're not in, you're chilling, because definitely this 58 zone, man, pretty messy here. But if we back test that, man, all day long, because to me, I look at a chart like this and I say it's easy, I know where I'm going to cut. So again, not being cocky, just how I trade. If I were to take a trade, absolutely. If we trickle in here and we kind of half-ass sell through this, so if we start seeing some like bottom side short wicks on that, but we're holding this support right here, that's reason for me to try and get long. So we kind of do price action like this. I know these candles don't quite get there, but any holds of that 58, man, I say buy the dip. Buy the dip. It may not get a breakout today or tomorrow, but if this holds here, I do not want to be short here, trying to catch a day trade on puts or swinging, because when I see price action like that, I'm expecting a bounce. But any sells below that, and yeah, you catch the sell through, bounce up for retracement and rejection below it. But if that holds here, man, this 58 zone, if that holds, definitely, I'd definitely be trying to get long on maybe some shares if you're a long-term guy. But because you see that structure here, that's decent. We hold this and we consolidate on the daily. We consolidate, what's going to happen? Our moving averages, 20 is going to move a little slower, 9 is going to move a little faster. It's going to curl, and boom. 1 support, 2 support, 3 supports, you get long absolutely when you have a support stacked with 2 moving averages there. Pretty nice chart. I don't play this. I know its name is pretty popular. But yeah, man, I got that 57, 87 marked for me, that 58 zone. Definitely stay along there for sure. All right. Shares big, been good, but a lot of playing for sure. Yep. All right. Trying to get caught with the chat here again. Sorry. We had snow. Tristan, gold, man, gold, silver, that sector I'm not good at. A Joe named Joe in our server is really good. But I can look at it and tell you from a chart perspective. But as far as sentiment, what makes it move, why does it move, stuff like that. Is it GLD? GLD? I think we can do that one, GLD, right? If not, let me know. Calls for 400 January 16th. All-time highs, it looks like, right? Let's see. You're in some contracts. Are you up, Tristan? Is that right? Yeah, Tristan. Are you up or barely up? Did you take them somewhere around here? Let me know in the chat or unmute if you want. Luis says, buy the dip on gold. All right, we got some smart people in here. Again, I don't know what makes it move. I'm not smart, I'm not an economics guy. But purely from a chart perspective, top range, top range, top range, and possibly a breakout. So again, technicals on the chart, get long, stay long. Man, my drawings is just not working great for me tonight. So as long as this range holds here, man, down 5%, 3 cons. All right, cool. So you got in somewhere on Friday probably, or Thursday, and it's kind of choppy. So what you got to watch for, man, is clear as day, this 358 to 359. You can see it if no one believes me, or people, rejection didn't quite get there. So that's the thing to watch. As of now, we're gapping up. So best case scenario for you, I forgot the other ticker we were looking at, but a break and hold of that is a support, or excuse me, a resistance is now flipped to support. So anybody not in, that's where you take it long, because you're proving, or this chart is proving, that last week's top range was resistance. It is now support, and we're moving up for a leg up. Same thing here. Bottom range here, bouncing. What do we do when we finally got the breakout? We pushed up the top range. So it's either push this new top range here or another rejection, and you buy your dip down here some time around 354. I know you're already in. That's another $4 down, but that's the spot to watch. I mean, it's clear as day. It's getting messy here, but this is your range. This is all that matters. This is the range from last week. You break it, we're going to leg up. We break down, we're back in the range. Or if we break below, that is not good for your calls, even if they're a January expiration, because we're breaking a range from last week. You never want to see that if you're in a bullish position. Same thing with bearish positions. If it reverses on you to the upside, you don't want to see that. All right, I'm getting caught up finally. All right. LL, you're still in here. Let's look at Target. That's a new one tonight. Let's do it. Are you in this one? Wanting to be in? Let me know. Ooh, definitely got some consolidation here. All right, I need to write these down. Target. Viral. Then we'll do CRM. Yep. Let me get these wrote down. TGT. CRM. Swing idea. Cool. Buy the dip. Cool. All right. You're in December calls. All right. Let's zoom out here and, ooh, man, where did you get in? Because I'm excited if you're in calls on this. Where did you get in? What level on the chart? Do you remember? Or just tell me what day if you got in last week, because look at this, you guys. Look at that. Bottoming out there from March of this year, and a nice curling bottom so far. Love this. Nothing about this other than short-term day trades. What I want to be on puts on this. So I love it. You got some time and you're in calls. Perfect. So again, look at that there, that 88 zone there. Sorry, just go look excited when I see a kick-ass setup on this, because anything can happen, but I'm pretty confident this is going to pay you. So I would trade this. A couple things. Let's not get too excited. 1K. Got a couple things we got to watch for here. All right. So good news is we are bouncing. This was what I would call kind of a little bit of a top range here down into here. We flipped it, and now we are support. So first plan of action, if you're a newer trader or maybe not great at charting, or anyone else seen this, is you want to see this zone here. So again, resistance. It is now support. Any bounces into here, you want to see that hold to prove, hey, and give you confidence, hey, I should day trade this long, or I want to be long on this, or I want to get shares. You guys, I don't know financially how this company is doing, but if you want to buy the dip on some shares, this is where you do it, this bottom range here. Super clean chart on where to do that. So, okay, supports you want to see hold. Who was this? LL, I think. Yes. But then overhead, some things to watch. So this stair-stepped green line, haven't talked about in a while. That's our daily 20 moving average. So we bounced it Thursday. We closed under it Friday. So first and foremost, you want to see break and holds. We'll just call it 89.5. When we start holding 89.5, this daily 20 moving average is going to curl underneath something like that. As long as we're not moving down, it's going to stay sideways or up. If we move up, that is going to form support underneath you. And then if we start moving up or sideways, daily 9 is going to stair step up, something like this. And so then this zone here, you treat that as this zone down here. So we break and hold this, it's on. If we break and hold 90 sometime this week, man, you are sitting really pretty. And when other people are chasing the breakout, you're chilling because you're in somewhere down here. But again, Overhead resistance, cannot deny that, somewhere around 90. Underneath you, support it. We'll just call it 88. I know it's 88.16, but this 88 zone. So basically a $2 range here. Very, very nice range. But again, you're in December, you're kind of chilling. Don't freak out if we kind of dip in this 90. Trust the chart, trust the setup, trust the support. We break 88, you know, maybe send me or someone a DM if you need some help and kind of figure out what we want to do here. I know you're, you know, probably 60 days out on expiration, but again, it's not a leap. So you do got to be mindful of the time, especially if we start kind of breaking this lower zone here. You know, send someone a DM if you need some help on that. But hopefully, man, we hold this 89 this week and we break over that. Again, on the daily, this is a super, super nice chart, you guys, where you guys want to nibble on some shares. When you see something like this, you do not want to be bearish down here at these levels here. Very, very nice setup. Nice work. Got a drawing mode here. What was next? Viral CRM, I believe, right? Feel free to unmute if you want, brother. Otherwise, put it in the chat. I think you're looking for a swing, you said. Ooh, kind of similar thing here. Definitely bottom range. Didn't quite get there. Not the bottom, but you know. All right, let's get a couple more lines in here. Where are we bouncing? 234. I like that spot there. But obviously, overhead resistance. Can't deny that, no matter how bad we want to break out. Got to be mindful of that. Sorry, I'm just on the daily here trying to. All right. Get out of that mode there. Swing idea 280 November 21st. All right. 40 bucks out of the money. Don't love that. If you can do less contracts at closer strike, I would definitely love that, brother. So I don't know portfolio size. I don't need to know, but if you're going to buy 5, I would prefer a closer strike and then just 2 or 3 contracts. Or if you're going to get 10 contracts, I'd prefer 5 and a closer strike, something like a 260, 270, 40 bucks out of the money. Maybe that delta is good. I'm not sure, but again, very, very tradable chart. Again, the theme of the night, you guys, range breaks kind of, it seems. So what do we see here? Support, bounce, bounce, bounce. We sell through that. A battle here, back over. Okay. Bounce, sold through it. Bounce, reclaimed it. What do we happen? What do we have happen here last week? Sold through it. Tried to reclaim. Nope. Didn't get there. Tried to reclaim. A few 30-minute candles did. We closed under it. So clear as day. That is the spot to watch. Get back to my drawings here. So if you're not in yet, Viral, for me, how I trade, brother, 241.40. I need to see a breakout retest, you know, like a 15 to 30-minute candle, not like a 2-minute or a 5-minute. I need to see that hold there. Let me zoom in real quick. Cheat that chart. So you can see recently we tried to break out, we failed. So what you don't want to do, you don't want to say, oh, breakout's coming, you buy up here. Now you got to sit through that red, and then damn, they close under it. You're like, oh, I'm really red. So a breakout and hold, this is your best risk reward. We talk about risk reward, you guys. This is where it's at. You take your calls here. If it fails and does this, your stop out is easy. You say, hey, same thing as Friday. We're not holding this zone here. I'm cutting my calls. I'm going to day trade some puts, or I'm just going to cut my calls and move on and wait for a breakout here. But that's the spot. If we open anything under that, I am not chasing calls up into here because we've seen that price action there. We've seen that price action there. This price action pre-market. We don't want to chase calls into resistance ever. Okay. So either back test, you wait, you know, some sort of a support bounce into here, this kind of 239.50. It's Thursday's high of day. We bounced it Friday. We held, we pushed up a little bit. You know, if you want to only buy the dip on calls, you know, you're not a put person, that's fine. Get the sell down to here, possibly Friday's close. But if we open into here, I'm not chasing calls right here. I need a push, breakout, hold for more. You might miss it. It could be a big move. Whatever it is, but again, just how I trade, my opinion, you guys, that's how I'm going to feed it to you. I need to see that zone there, because also, what is this stair-stepping line here? our daily 9 moving average. It's stacked right there. You do not want to take calls into that. Rejected the daily 9 on Friday. Sold through it. Bounced over it there. Rejected, rejected. Always know where your moving averages are, you guys. All right, it's 6 o'clock my time, making sure I didn't miss anybody. Let me see here. Got 17 in here still. Let's see. CRM, got it. Gold, got it. Got Target, got Target. Snow, I think we got everybody. Is that everybody, guys? Cool. If there's nothing else, you guys, I'll do a quick recap on SPY if someone was late, but if you guys got to go, you want to watch some football, I know I do. You guys can jet out of here. Appreciate you guys sticking around. I'm going to hit SPY real quick in case someone joined late. How to play it, why to play it. But appreciate you guys being here, guys. SPY recap real quick, you guys. Cut and dry, pretty simple for me. How I'm going to trade this. Get my drawings back here. 670.67. If we gap up, we may gap and go. That's life, whatever, you know. But if we kind of gap or we hold this little tiny gap into here, we kind of push into here on the open tomorrow. I'm not taking calls into that because I'm watching this price action from Friday and say, oh man, failed breakout over yesterday's afternoon session. Excuse me, Friday's afternoon session. I look for repeatable setups, and I'm looking for a possible repeatable setup for that for some puts if we fail to break out over that. Break and hold, that's fine. Break and hold this on SPY. I'm now looking for a repeatable setup like this. We break out, we hold this. I know the wick went down here, but we held over and we push up. That's what I'm focusing on. Early tomorrow, again, we may gap up here, we may gap down here and move down. We never get this chance, but we'll display the other supports. But that's what I'm watching is 670.76. If we want a little bit rounder number, 0.75. Mark on your chart, screenshot, whatever you guys want to do. But that is my focus early tomorrow. Again, if we kind of hold that, level here, that's the spot I'm looking for longs on other stuff in the market on my watch list, stuff like that. Bogdan, real quick, DraftKings, that's the last one because I want to go watch the Bills. No big deal, man. I might have skipped him, sorry. DraftKings. What you in on this one, brother? Are you, let's see, you want to be in? Looking to be in? Let me know in the chat. Or you can unmute if you want to make it quicker. Yep, Tristan, you're welcome. Rural, perfect.
I'm in calls. I'm looking right now. I'm a little bit red, but I didn't put too much money into it. I'm in calls for January 16, $47 calls.
Cool. January got some time. Can't complain with that. Do you remember how long ago, January? A couple days ago or a couple weeks or?
Do you still hear me?
Yep.
I want to say maybe like a week ago, maybe more. I'm down like 40-something% right now.
Okay, so you caught this kill cam. That's right. You're being honest, man. No big deal. No big deal. Appreciate the honesty. So, let's zoom out big picture, kind of show you how I would trade this. So be honest. Are you in heavy or kind of a half position here?
Like a half position, not heavy.
All right, that's cool. I can manage that. So since you're already in, so let me do this. I'm gonna color this green here because I like to do green support, red resistance. That's just what I do. So we're gonna focus here on kind of that green zone there. We close under it, but not too bad. So we can see that price action here, brother. When we get under that, we see some selling pressure. Again, I'm on the daily here. So we sell through that. We see selling pressure kick in. This could be overall market weakness. It could just be on DraftKings. And each time we get back up to it, you know, it's a battle. Sellers kick it down. We push up. It's a battle. Sellers kick it down. We break over. We get a little continuation. You know, low consolidation, broke down. Ultimately, it took an engulfing candle to make us push up and move for, you know, a couple months or whatever. So coming back to that, looking to present day, again, broke, you know, this was some news. You cannot help that. This was some sports betting news or something. So what I would do, brother, two options here. I'm only advising or suggesting average down because you are in some January calls. If you're in something that expired this week, I'd say, hey man, those should have been cut a long time ago. But we're gonna focus on these two green lines here. I'm gonna zoom in for you on kind of how I would trade this. So this to me, oops, sorry. This damn Zoom chat is killing me right now. This is promising what I want to see to watch. So you've seen around that daily, that level I said that they're battling out this basically 35.54. Well, DraftKings had a really bad week, and what are we doing now? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like I always say, breakouts are not happening, so buyers are not winning. But what's happening to sellers right here? Either sellers are kind of half-assing it and they're not making any progress, or sellers are exhausted. They say, hey, we sold down from 47 or whatever that was. You know, here's the next big support. We're fine. We're done. We're done shorting this, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. This is promising to me. I'm not sugarcoating it because I want you to average down, but I'm being honest on this chart. I like to see this triple bottom zone here. 3 days in a row, sellers are not making any progress to the downside. Again, breakouts are not happening, but when I see this and someone's like, hey, you know, should I average down or where should I average down? This is a clear and obvious spot because again, it held 3 days in a row. Again, like I tell people, when you take an average, it has to make sense. Does it make sense on the time and stuff like that and a support level? This is the spot to do it, brother. So if you want to, again, I'm long-winded on this explanation here, but anywhere around this 35.44 zone here. Again, you may see a little bit red, but every time we see red, they bought it back. A little bit red, a little bit of buyback, a little bit red, a little bit buyback. And so that's the spot to do it. But I know you're in January calls. Again, that's not a leap. You don't have a ton of time. If you take an average here this week and we start killing these supports here, you got to just say, hey, I was in a play. They got some news on some sports betting competition. It's time to cut the calls, or you should be at the bare minimum day trading some puts against it. Because if I see a support hold here and you're not going to cut your calls, you need to day trade puts down into here. We break this level here. We break last week's low. You need to day trade some puts down into here. You can't just let calls bleed out over and over and over. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, mark on your chart, brother, take a screenshot, and I'll let you talk in a second. But yeah, this 35.44, and actually I like it so much, and I trade this name. I'm going to set some alerts too, because if I see some consolidation, attempted breakouts over here, I may alert a day trade too, because I like stuff like this. But go ahead and talk if you had a question.
Yeah, I had another. So my second question was, what do you think about shares at this price? It looks like a...
Yeah, if you want to flip, like shares are always with a grain of salt, because I don't want to tell someone, hey, take shares of support, and then the company's like, I mean, this company's not going to, you know, announce an offering. They're doing good, but they do have competition. But you just got to be mindful and what your intention is. So, like I say, when I tell people to get in shares, the next support down doesn't make sense. How far is it? So basically, if you were to buy shares tomorrow, let's just say, how far down is worst case scenario? You're down 13%. To me, that's manageable. When you buy shares, you're rarely going to be instant green, but you never want to buy shares and go, okay, if they knife this, the next support is 60% down. That's not good. But we're looking here. The next big zone down here is 10 to 13%. To me, that's totally manageable. If you're buying shares as a flip or an investment, like, there's no, unless the company goes out of business, there's no expiration on it. And so you got to be able to stomach and have a game plan of a little bit of red. So I would definitely, if you want to nibble a little bit of shares here, basically on the technical standpoint on the chart, like absolutely, this is the spot to do it. And if I go the weekly chart, yeah, we sell through it, but where also do we bounce here on these green lines? When we close over that weekly, we bounce that zone. If we close under it, yeah, it gets ugly. But again, this, you have to zoom out and just do that little percent trick with a trend line. Just go, okay, I can nibble here, but 13% is not bad for me on shares. Like I've held shares all day long at 13% red. You dollar cost average. So, easy round number. If you want to buy $600 in shares, to me, I don't buy number of shares. I buy dollar amount. So I'm going to buy 200 here. I'm going to buy another, 300 or 400 down here. And then that is a full position for me. And I want to see that bounce. If we bounce there, this buying is green. This buying is almost green, but your overall average is going to be green. But, you buy in shares here, you buy in here, we break that. It gets ugly because we're breaking the lows from the year. I don't know what this is. I need to zoom over. Again, the Zoom chat really sucks. Yeah, this is last year. So if we break this zone here, we are breaking 52-week lows. That is a bearish signal on any chart, on any stock. You don't want that. Does that help you?
Got it. Yeah, no, amazing. No, it's more of a long term, definitely not to like flip them and make $1, but thank you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Appreciate it.
Yep, definitely. All right, y'all. Appreciate you sticking around, but I got some Sunday night football to watch. DMs are always open, always open. You guys say, hey, I'm looking at this chart here. I'm looking at this setup. I got these support lines. What do you think? I will absolutely, like I tell people every single week, the people that send me a chart with a plan, you guys have priority because it means you're putting in the work. So DMs are always open, you guys. You may have to do like a little friend request first before the DM goes through, but I'm not going to ignore anybody that puts in the work, you guys. So put the work in, send me a DM if you need some extra help. And with that, you guys have a great night.